Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to do a Kickstarter preview of Dawnshade. This game should be coming out soon on Kickstarter. I will put the Kickstarter link in the description below, so check the description if you want to check out more about this game. Now in this video we're going to set up the game as if we're doing the first chapter of a 3-chapter session for this game. If you just want to see how the game plays, check out the next video in this playlist. I'm actually going to do a Chapter 3 playthrough. I'm not going to do Chapter 1 or 2 because Chapter 3 is really the climax of the game and I really want you guys to see that. Dawnshade is a cooperative adventure game. You're going to be one of the 4 that come in the base game. I believe with Kickstarter exclusives and expansions it might be more than that, but there's 4 to start out with. You can play 1 to 4 player right now. And you are going to try and defeat 3 major threat quest tiles throughout your 3-chapter campaign. So let's go ahead and set up. Hope you guys are excited. I am really loving this game. Let's do it. I should say before I jump in, this is a prototype and look at how amazing it looks. It looks wonderful. And what I need you to know is that if you are watching this after you get your final copy, there might be rules that are different. So don't look at this for 100% rules correctness. This will give you a general gist, but there might be changes along the way when they actually finalize the actual game itself. To start setting up the game, you'll want to grab your Vaki board. Now, Vaki is used to power up your special abilities, and you'll use it to change your alignment with the Watchers, and depending upon whichever one you have the most alignment with, so the farther up on the track, when you do that, you actually gain the specific benefits. So like if I did that with water here, I'd gain the accurate condition. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to grab 2 per player of the Tier 1 Vaki. So you see here I have for the water, there's 4 here, then for the mountain there's 4, and then for the sun there's 4. And then 1 per player for the Tier 2 of nature, air, and fire. As you can see, I'm setting this up for a 2-player game. That's how I'm going to do my playthrough. You'll also want to grab your level token here, which will denote what level you are at any given point. It is double-sided, and it goes all the way up to, 19 levels. Okay. You also have your threat tracker. This is going to determine when you hit your major quest tile. If you're playing on easy, that'll be up to 19 threat. If you're playing on standard, it's 16, and if you're playing on hard, it's 12. Finally, you'll gain XP throughout the game, and you'll grab the XP tracker, and every time you move up to 10 XP, you'll gain 1 level. Also, what's important to note about this level dial, you see how there's green ones every 3 levels? That's when you'll actually increase your agility, which tells you how many dice you can roll during combat. Finally, you want to make sure that you grab a gray token and put it on the balanced location on here, because right now you have no specific alignment with any type of watcher. If we ever return Vaki to this board by not using special abilities, but we might just send it back here at the end of a battle, when we bring them or put them back onto this board, it pushes up our alignment with those specific Vaki areas. So if I did that over here, I would essentially be giving water to the Danu Watcher. And so because of that, we would move this track up. And you'll see how that works during the playthrough. Finally, as you gain levels, you will place tokens here to denote you have training points, and you can go back to the village or guild hall to level up your characters. Next, you want to grab which Baturkan you're going to play as. I'm going to play as 2. I'm going to play as Flash and Ash. You can see on the board there's different locations to track your different stats. Devotion, agility, attack, items, HP, defense, where you can place your specific skill dice. If you have an overdrive, so every time you roll a blank on any dice, you can power up your overdrive, what your special ability is, and then what you're going to do is use these gears to denote where you are on that stat. Anywhere where there is a number that's circled, that is where you start. So we'll start with 1 defense, and then you can see on here 1 devotion, 3 HP. As you gain training points, you'll be able to increase any of these except for the agility. The agility is the only one that you have to wait to level up. Every 3 levels, you'll get to increase your agility. You'll then grab a cube to denote for your overdrive. I usually grab one that matches the color of your character. Next, you'll want to grab your 3 specific skill dice. Now, to start with, they'll be off of your board. You can spend training points to gain them, and then you can use them during your play, but you will have to gain the Vaki needed in order to activate those dice. How you determine what Vaki you need in order to activate or use your skill dice, you can see on the top of the card here, it denotes, okay, this one I need sun, I need fire, and I need nature. Those are tier 2s. I've got tier 1s, tier 2s, and ultimate abilities. For the chapter 1, you can only use your tier 1 abilities, and those ones will only need one skill die to activate, and you'll only need tier 1 Vaki. For Tier 2 you can use during the Chapter 2 playthrough, Chapter 2 session, and here you'll need Tier 1 and Tier 2 Vaki, and usually you'll need 2 dice of your skill dice to be able to activate it. And then finally, in Chapter 3, you have your ultimate. You'll have to roll all 3 of your dice, and you need tons of different Vaki in order to activate it. Your final step for setup is you'll have to grab your Cogbots. You have 3 of them, and they're the same color as your character, and your actual character chip that will denote who you are, as well as your target cards. You'll have 5 of them. You'll also have 2 blank ones, and during the game you might have chances to put these into the target deck, and they're amazing because when you flip them, instead of an enemy targeting somebody, they're going to target no one. So those are great. But make sure you grab the 5, and you'll start only with the 5 that actually have your picture on them. These 2 just set aside. Next, let's go ahead and set up our quest deck. You will see here there's multitudes of different types of quest tiles. You'll always play each chapter with 10 tiles. First thing you need to choose is a village tile. That's the one that you're going to start with, and you'll place that onto the quest board. So we'll go ahead and start with this village tile. Then you'll grab your Watcher's Temple. You'll always have that one included. You'll grab 2 random journey tiles, 1 battle tile, 2 random outpost tiles, and 2 random event tiles. What's important about the event tiles is each chapter, after you finish one chapter and go to the next one, you'll make sure that you don't take those event tiles that you just had in the last chapter, remove them from the game. You can't choose them again, so that way you don't have the same events each time that you play, or each chapter. The final tile to complete your quest stack will be the major threat tile. So I'll go ahead and create that for our Chapter 3 playthrough. You then get to place your starting village anywhere on this quest board. I could set it here or over here. I've never started in the middle before, so why the heck not? Let's start in location 10. Then what you do is you look at the chart in the logbook, and it will denote where you get to put the Watcher's Blessings on the board. Since I chose Hex 10 as my starting village, I can see here I will place Watcher's Blessings in these different locations. 3, 4, 5, 7, 13, 15, 16, 17. There are 6 different types of Watcher Blessings. Here's just an example of 3 of them. You can use them at any time, and they can be used for anyone. A Wild, you can change a die to any side that you want. A Vaki, you can gain 1 Tier 1 Vaki from the board at any time. A shield, you can have anyone gain 1 shield. They're really, really helpful, so it kind of helps direct you where you may want to try and explore while you are going on the quest. Here we have our quest board all set up. You can see the different Watcher's Blessings. Now they are face down, so I don't know what they are. I just know they're good, and that can kind of direct me on where I want to go. I might want to try and get to this area. I can also switch how I start this tile. I might say, well, this might be a nice way to go. So you always have to connect rows, which is why it's really important how you set these tiles up. If ever you flip a tile when you're exploring and you cannot connect it to any road, you immediately go to the final threat, or the major threat. So be ready for that. Make sure to give yourself some options. You then can place your kingship chip right here on the village to denote that's where you're starting. One of the most enjoyable parts of this game is all the different loot. And you have 3 different tiers of loot. In your Chapter 1, you'll only be able to get Tier 1 loot. In your Chapter 2, you can get Tier 2 and Tier 1. And in Chapter 3, you can get all 3 types of loot. So make sure to have these on the board depending upon which chapter you're playing. Also, all of the dice that you're going to use when you are in battles, or sometimes when you have to do certain checks during the actual adventures. So you have your attack dice, your defense dice, your Vaki dice, then you have your Dawnshade dice. The Dawnshade dice are used for tests to see if you succeed or fail. If ever you get a Dawn and a Shade on the dice, so you can see night and day, that means you succeed. If you get 2 nights or 2 days, then you fail. You also have a foe die, which is a specifically terrible dice, has more hits than normal, and usually activates special abilities of enemies. And you have an explode die, which if you roll an explode symbol, you'll roll it over and over again for more damage. That also is used by more powerful enemies. Although there isn't anything to set up here, I do want to show you the battle board. The battle board is really cool because it's actually double-sided. You'll use this side when you're having your battles, and then you use this side for a lot of the different mini-games. You'll actually use the battle side for mini-games as well. It's super fun. I love the multi-use of this board. So you'll see this board often. Finally, we have all the chips in the game, and I'm amazed, you guys, this quality for a prototype is pretty much unheard of. Foam insert, it's super nice, holds everything really well. So we've got our health over here, our shields, we've got all the different cogbots over here, the different player tokens over here, we've got all the different enemies over here, here, and here, and we've got the different money that we have in the game. I don't know if in the Kickstarter we might be able to get actual coins. I'm hoping so, because these are cardboard, and when you have such nice chips here, these feel kind of cheap. Same with the Watcher's Blessings. Hopefully they can get upgraded. I have no idea if we are going to do that, but yeah, so you want to get these out. What's great about these, I don't even take them out of these holders. I just put these out on the table. They are easy to pull things out of and get what you need, and then you're already set and ready to put it away when you're done with your game. So there you have it. That's how you set up Dawnshade. I'm really excited. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play 2 chapters on my own and then get myself set up for chapter 3, and then I'll have you guys join me on my 3rd and final chapter. Let's see how Ash and Flash can do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you at the next stop.